Another day, another story. The history of women's struggle for equality and recognition is a long and complex one, with many challenges and obstacles to overcome. In Orthodox time periods, women faced significant limitations and discrimination based on their gender, which made their struggle all the more difficult. In many societies, women were relegated to traditional roles such as wives and mothers, and were not allowed to pursue education, careers, or political participation. They were often considered inferior to men, and their rights were not protected by law. Throughout history, women have fought for their rights and worked to change societal attitudes towards gender roles. They have organized protests, written books and articles, and even engaged in civil disobedience in order to bring attention to their cause. One of the most notable periods of women's struggle occurred during the suffrage movement, which began in the late 19th century and continued into the early 20th century. Women fought for their right to vote and participate in the democratic process, facing opposition and violence from those who believed that women were not fit for such activities. In addition to the suffrage movement, women have also struggled for access to education, employment, and reproductive rights. They have faced discrimination in hiring and promotion, unequal pay, and limited access to healthcare services. Despite these challenges, women have continued to fight for their rights and to make progress towards equality. Today, women hold positions of power and influence in many fields, and have achieved legal protections and recognition for their contributions to society. However, the struggle for gender equality continues in many parts of the world, and women still face discrimination and barriers to full participation in all aspects of society. We see a group of visitors, mostly women, looking at exhibits showcasing the history of women's struggle for equality. A tour guide, a woman in her 40s, is leading the group. Tour guide: welcome, everyone, to our exhibit on the struggle of women throughout history. Today, we'll take a look at how women fought against oppression to gain equal rights and opportunities. The group moves towards the first exhibit, which showcases women's roles in ancient civilizations. Tour guide: in ancient times, women were often confined to domestic roles and were not allowed to participate in politics or other areas of public life. We see a visual representation of ancient women, dressed in long robes, working in the fields or inside the home. Tour guide: however, women like Cleopatra, Empress Wu Zetian, and Queen Nefertiti defied social norms and gained power and influence in their respective societies. The group moves on to the next exhibit, which showcases the suffrage movement. Tour guide: the suffrage movement, which began in the late 19th century, was a turning point for women's rights. Women fought tirelessly for the right to vote and to participate in the democratic process. We see images of women protesting, marching, and holding rallies, demanding their right to vote. We also see images of women who were beaten and arrested for their activism. Tour guide: their tireless efforts and sacrifices eventually led to the passage of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1920, which granted women the right to vote. The group moves on to the next exhibit, which showcases the feminist movement of the 1960s and 70s. Tour guide: the feminist movement of the 1960s and 70s was another significant moment in women's struggle for equality. Women demanded equal pay, access to education and job opportunities, and reproductive rights. We see images of women protesting against discrimination in the workplace, fighting for equal pay, and demanding access to birth control and abortion. Tour guide: their activism led to important legislative victories, such as the Equal Pay Act of 1963 and the Roe v. Wade decision in 1973. The group moves on to the final exhibit, which showcases the present-day struggles of women. Tour guide: although significant progress has been made in the fight for women's rights, there is still work to be done. Women continue to face discrimination and inequality in many areas of life, including the workplace, politics, and healthcare. We see images of women protesting against the gender pay gap, fighting for paid parental leave, and demanding equal representation in government. Tour guide: but despite these challenges, women continue to fight for their rights and to empower themselves and each other. Fade out. Thanks for watching.